Hey, shalom, 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 lakam, which is peace unto you all. Hayawam tawab la atam za yakam yawam al chagador Charlotte, which is good day. This is your brother Yawam from the GMS camp in Charlotte. Na chamatam kaya hamalakoth hashamayim kwarab. Repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call halayim la abanawa Yahweh bahasham Yahweh shai. Bahasham rocha hakodash wa mashana la zakonium na wa malakyam shor chagador, which is all praises to our Father Yahweh, which means he exists. Bahasham, the name Yahweh Shai delivers. And double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Today's lesson is entitled Ayan Bahasapar, which is color in the book, all right, which the book is the scriptures, all right. And ultimately, Esau understands colors, how color is perceived and what effect that has on perception. So ultimately, that's why he went through an iconoclasm and also the Renaissance era, to where, he painted over the images. All right. And pretty much in this, I just wanted to get the true color of the Israelites, or excuse me, the true color of the Lord and the true color of the Israelites. All right. For truth's sake. So I got this definition written right here. It says symbolism and color. It says colors hold significance for people around the world. Not only do colors influence emotion, but they also hold meaning in religion and various cultures, i.e. color psychology. Of the colors, white meaning innocent, illumination, and perfection, while black means mystery, evil, and death. If color didn't matter, Esau wouldn't have deceived everyone with his image, and it matters again for truth's sake. All right, so I just wanted to get some scriptures just edifying on that point, and colors are used for again truth's sake, you see, but then also they have been used deceptively and also as exonyms and derogatory terms. An exonym is pretty much, exo means outside, and pretty much the word goes into with someone of in another group that's not in a specific group. They will call somebody else that. So i.e. Esau is not a Israelite, so therefore he calls us Black, Latino, Native American. All right, but whereas in our own subdivision, our own group, all right, we call ourselves the Israelites. We are known as the Israelites. You see, so that's essentially what an exonym is. It's just nothing more than a byword, or pursuant to Deuteronomy 28:37. Actually, we'll start with that. So Zadah Baryam, this is Deuteronomy chapter 28, and we'll get verse 37, and it says, "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee." And ultimately, everywhere that Jake resides, all right, Jake resides as an astonishment, all right, based on essentially, how it is that, Jake, for the most part, is living, all right, due to the fact that, we're under the curses. All right, NLT, you will become an object of horror, ridicule, and mockery among all the nations to which the Lord sends you. And pretty much, if all the other nations decided to be somebody, they would not choose to be Jake. They want all of the blessings, but they wouldn't want to subscribe to any of the curses and the things that Jake has to go through. All right, and again, that goes into the astonishment of us as a people as a whole. So it says a proverb and a byword. All right, and that ultimately goes into how the other nations views us and what they call us. Or they essentially subscribe to calling us the different exonyms and bywords and things that are ultimately not what we call ourselves. Again, hence the term for Black, Hispanic, Native American. All of those are none of our names. They're just open mockery. All right. So let's get this, because this serves as an example. This is Acts chapter 13 and verse 1. It says, "Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simon, that was called Niger, and Lucius of Cyrene, and Manon, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul." All right. And again, this is a byword or exonym. So when we go into this word for nigger, it says black. All right. And which if we was to go, and again, that was a derogatory term, but if we get in the NLT, it says, "Among the prophets and teachers of the church at Antioch of Syria were Barnabas, Simon called the black man, Lucius Cyrene, from Cyrene, Manon, the childhood companion of King Herod Antipas, and Saul." So showing you that, essentially it's talking about nigger goes into it's a derogatory term for the color of the skin. All right, pretty much going into how Jake, we come in all facets of brown, you see, but the derogatory mark that is ascribed to Jake, all right, will be so-called, black man. All right, so let's get this. Za'ayawab. This is Job chapter 9, and we'll get verse 24. And it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And ultimately, Esau Edom has covered over the faces of the judges. All right, starting with the Most High Yahweh, while his son Yahweh Shai. All right, the angels. All right, and the Israelites. You see, Esau has painted his face as the image. All right, what the world views as the Savior. All right, so I'm gonna read it again. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He has the power to do these things. All right. Again, he used that power, all right, in the times of iconoclasm and then the Renaissance, the rebirth, all right, to where they pretty much went and painted over the images and put themselves, all right, as the Most High, all right, as Yahweh Shai. They painted over the face and then also gave the name JC. All right. So continuing on, this is First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 48. And it says, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. And that was ultimately Esau Edom. You don't see a Moab. The heathen that it's talking about is Esau Edom. You don't see a Moabite JC. You don't see a Ishmaelite JC. It's always, a pale face, blue eyed, picture, So let's get this as well. This is Song of Songs, chapter 1. We'll get verse 5, and it says, I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Quadar, as the curtains of Solomon. All right, and the tents of Quadar, they were dark. All right, pretty much it's a similitude, because we don't come in, nobody has black skin, just different shades of brown. So it's a similitude for how, brown, our skin is, So let's get this as well. Yashaya Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 17. And it says, judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet. And the hell shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the waters shall overflow the hiding place. All right, and again, Esau for so long was able to, perpetrate that, he was the people because of, things that he did in deception, like iconoclasm in the Renaissance era, you see. But, this truth now is essentially exposing this devil, for the liar that he is. All right, let's get this as well. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 10. We'll get verse 4, and it says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds. And being that Esau is a carnal person, the scriptures say he has a right hand of falsehood, so he relies on that deception, you see. But in this current day and age, in this time, that we're in, the Lord is essentially exposing all those lies. That's why it says, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds. All right, that color is a stronghold for Jake. All right, it says casting down imaginations. All right, that's an imagination. All right, ultimately, Esau painting over the images. That's an imagination, And every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bring it into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach. You see, so all of that is done by through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Essentially, everything is being exposed. It's a bright light being shined on the counsels of the ungodly. And I'm gonna get this too, because this is essentially the process that's taking place right now. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, and we'll get verse 14. It says, for the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. And that's essentially how this truth is moving through the planet Earth. All right. So let's also get this. We'll get Hosea Hawashai chapter 7. It's a lot. Hosea chapter 7, we'll get verse 8. And it says, Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. A lot of Ephraimites, which is the so-called Puerto Ricans, they come looking very, very dark skinned to very, very pale white. Almost, well, not pale white, like pale skin, almost like the color of Edomites. All right. And Ephraim is also ascribed to Northern Kingdom as a whole, because Ephraim is the head of the Northern Kingdom, you see. So a lot of Northern Kingdom essentially are in that color as well, you know. But let's also get this. I'm gonna go ahead and close. This is Revelation chapter 1 and verse 13, you know, because this is the color of the Lord. All right. So it says, in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. You know, so when we look at the older encyclopedias and dictionaries, are ultimately that it'll say, you know, hair like wool goes into you know, the texture, you see. But then also from the wisdom, the wisdom, all right, makes a man's head and that whitish grayish texture, you know. And it says as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burn in a furnace, and his voice is the sound of many waters, you know. So if you look at the feet, your feet are the same color as the rest of your body, you know. So if his feet are like fine brass, as if they burned in the furnace, you know, his the rest of his body and his face is going to be in the same complexion. All right. And it says, and his voice is the sound of many waters. You know, the Lord spoke with authority. All right. So the Lord is not a pale faced, blue eyed devil. All right. That speaks, you know, softly and, you know, in the image that Esau pushes. All right. The Lord speaks with authority, with the austereness. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to go into that, you know, because for truth's sake, all right, color matters. You know, you have individuals that say, you know, why does it matter what color the Lord is? Well, it matters because, again, for what's written in the scriptures. All right. And when we bring this word out, all right, we have to bring it out in truth. All right. It has to be essentially detailed as it actually happened. It can't be from imaginations, you see. So again, we just, you know, bringing out the truth of the scriptures. You know, so I don't want to zaza about Naya Lord's will. That was a beautiful edification through the spirit. While I don't want to tam yash yawam tawab Lord's will. You have a good day. Wa shalom lakam, which is peace unto you all. Shalom, shalom.